Unfortunately, it took me a really long time for me to learn this, but it's something that I feel everybody should be aware of and something that they should practice throughout their lifetime. Sometimes we need to reflect. That reflection means building your self image and building your self awareness. Trial and error. I had to learn through bad decisions. I had to learn through bad times. I had to learn from being homeless. I had to learn from making mistakes in and out of jail. These are all things that at some point in my life when I was secluded, I had to figure out who I really was. What do I really want to do with myself? And where is a lot of my character coming from? When you start thinking about these things, you start to realize that we are shaped by our environment. We are influenced by the things that we inherit at home. You're born, you got a brain ready to just take in a bunch of knowledge, ready to start learning how to talk, and ready to start learning how to live and go by the manners that you're taught at home, learning the education that you're put in from your parents. These are all things that we inherit from home. So take the time to think about what characters, whether it's bad traits or good traits that you have that are either holding you back or pushing you forward. Those are the ones you got to embrace, and there's the one that you got to work on. There was a diagram that was presented to me in an amazing way, and I've used this ever since. It was presented by Bob Proctor. What this means is, represent this at the top of your brain. You got a split line between it. Naturally, when we're born, we have our subconscious fully open. This means when we're out into this world, the minute we're born, we don't have a full plan and a full strategy. We're not ready to take on the world through our own brain and our own minds, though we will at one point, but we're not there yet when we're first born. So what do? We listen to the advice from our mother, from the advice from our father, or the advice from our guardians or people that are raising us and the places that we're in. If you're in foster homes, you're living in that foster home feeling. If you're out in the streets, you're living in those street feelings. And what do? You learn from your environments because inside you don't know what's right and what's wrong yet. So your subconscious is fully open. It takes a long time. Sometimes some people have never even found the top half of their head, which would mean your conscious. This is when you start thinking deep within. This is the moment where your clarity starts building. The moment where you start saying, I'm making decisions for myself. I'm not influenced by others. And I'm going to start digging deep within. I'm going to start seeing who I really am because my passions aren't aligning with the three broke friends that I got. My passions are not aligning with my mom constantly shutting me down. These are things that we have to understand and see for ourselves, right? So you start digging deep within, you start digging into your deeper conscious. Most of us don't understand and most of us don't know because we don't look into it. It took me forever to look into it. I didn't start learning until I heard about Bob Proctor. And even then, when I first heard it from him, I still didn't take it serious. I remember going to a seminar with my friend. I remember seeing Bob Proctor for the first time on stage. And in that moment, I felt something. Something in me was like, yo, you're different, right? But surely enough, I lost all that. I left that seminar. I went back home to the same environment. I went back home to the same advices, the same sceneries that I was dealing with, that I was emotionally trying to get past and physically, right? And I completely forgot about it all. Why? Because I caved into my subconscious decisions, not my conscious one, not the one that was like, yo, there's a spark in you, yo, you can do something. No, I gave into this. This is the thoughts, the opinions of my parents, the thoughts and opinions of everybody that was trying to give me advice that wasn't doing shit with theirs. So we got to take a moment to really think about that because what goes in here by natural law, no matter what, it always produces inside your body, right? You get these feelings, you get these emotions. And what do those emotions make you do? Especially if you're subconscious. What do they make you do? They make you react, right? So you got your actions. These feelings, these thoughts, these vibrations, they go into your body. Your body's going to produce that externally. It's going to react. It's going to bring reactions, and it's going to bring it to reality, right? So you have your body producing that into action. And what do those actions get you? They get you your results. Now listen, people, this is why we have to sit down and dig deep within. Think about where you want to go. Think about where you want to be at. You're never going to be driven by wanting what somebody else has and not caring for it or not having that same passion and drive for it. You got to have the passion within you to drive you. You can't say, I want to have this drive and I want to make this happen for myself, but I'm going to wake up and just wish for it to come. Right? Because that small little wish, it stays right here. Right in between the two. Between your conscious knowing you should get the fuck up and do what you got to do versus your subconscious that is telling you, man, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not it. I can't really do this. That's your subconscious. That's the background voices that you have in your head that aren't true, that aren't real. The subconscious thoughts of people that have been in your life that have implemented these thoughts and opinions and ideas into your life that are never true. Let me give you an example. There was a moment in time that defined the next 18 years of my life. And there was a moment where I saw my brother getting bullied. I was at the age of 7 years old. I saw my brother getting bullied, and I took out the biggest knife that I could find out of my kitchen, and I chased this bully all the way across the avenue. I'm talking about I was chasing him for about 20, 30 minutes until I caught up to him. Made a bad decision, got in trouble for it. Getting arrested at 7, it's crazy, right? But ever since that, my family, my brothers, even the people that knew me around the neighborhood used to call me Chucky. And they used to always be like, yo, this kid's gonna be a badass kid when he grows up. He's gonna be super bad when he grows up. He's gonna be beating people up. Surely enough, what am I doing? I'm getting into troubles all the time. I'm in and out of jail. I'm living that street life. Why? Because they implemented that in my head that that's what I was gonna be. And I was so young to have a decision in my mind to say, nah, that's not what I'm gonna be. In fact, I actually thought it was cool because everybody in my environment was going through the same thing. There was people down the street that were selling drugs. There was people left and right at school that were ready to get into fights just to prove a point. And for me, I subconsciously lived in that for so long in my life that I had to change. So I had to sit down and be like, yo, what are the real thoughts around me that are influencing me? And what do I really genuinely want to do? And what I genuinely want to do does not fit this regime. What I want to do has different goals because I actually don't feel none of this. And I took the time to say, you know what? I'm going to live my life through my conscious decisions and take every single thing that I want to become, everything that I want to do with my life. This is the feelings that are going to come into my body. But it's not something that happens overnight. And even till this day, I constantly fight my subconscious thoughts. Because no matter what I'm going to have, I constantly beat those subconscious thoughts. I already made a big step in breaking a generational curse. And that's just thinking from within. You got to be really selective of what goes in your head. Because what goes into your head is always going to produce in your body. And you're always going to have those actions and those results. There isn't going to be 20 to 30 minutes or an hour that I'm spending wasting time thinking about something else. Or wasting time thinking about decisions that people want to make for me. So if you're listening to this, take some time to reflect, dig deep within yourself, and really see what's influencing your decisions, what bad habits you might have gotten from home or from your environment, and how can you change that around? How can you turn your life around to start thinking from within and start finding your purpose?